Blog Talk Radio. And welcome to Community Garden Revolution. My name is Mary Huckel, and I'm so glad you're here this week. There's always so much going on, and particularly this time of the year when a lot of groups out there, I see on the Facebook pages, that they are calling all the people in to be able to clean up the debris from the winter. Now, some parts of the nation, they are still having snow or they're still having some bad rain situation. And, of course, as you know, we usually lose some of the community gardens in the first part of the year due to flooding that happens during the tornado season. So we pray for all the nation on that part because it's been that way for the last 2 to 4 years. I can, count it down, different states, and we do hope the best. Now, for us here in the Midwest, we're having unseasonably weather that they're going to get there in New York the following day. But we are getting, I believe, the 74, 76 area, then 77 degrees tomorrow. And then, of course, that's going to be a day later on New York is when they'll get theirs, which would be a Friday and a Saturday, because we usually try to do this show on a Thursday. So we are excited. We're going to be going to look at some plants this afternoon, as a matter of fact, just to see what's out. We've seen 2 waves of plants being placed out by the Lowe's people in our town. So we don't know what the 2 waves are about, but so we'll have to see what they augmented the shelves with just recently. And then we see that the Walmart's folks have got theirs out, their big parking lot area that they show different plants in. And we've seen some of the other smaller shops really sprucing up to get ready for the influx of people that come into their places. And do shop with your local people when you have the opportunity. It keeps them in business. They do spend money locally. They do support their schools. They do support many different organizations and people in various ways. So do support those local people also. We see different ads on our TV stations, as a matter of fact, for the spring flowers. So we're not out of the woods yet because next week our temperatures are supposed to get back to the 40s and 50s. So, we're not there yet. And really at the first part of May, we still have whatever can happen. But it tones it down as far as like what we'll get as far as tornado weather. So, it still happens, but we're just so excited for the spring to come. We've had it up and down winter. We've heard also that the second strain of flu is coming about. Right now, I was just out about 2 days ago getting some errands done, and a gentleman and I were talking about how he already knew that the flu season was coming about. Now, I got a newsletter, and it said basically that it was going to be a lot less heavy strain. He thought it was going to be a worse strain than what it was this past winter. I don't know if he's got it confused with a possible strain that came from China to California, and that one's a very deadly one. But I don't know that – I think they stopped it or was able to keep the strain from going past a certain amount of California or something. So I don't know, to be honest with you. So I would say just keep on washing those hands, using alcohol wipes. I see it on my personal side for Facebook that different ones are catching some kind of a flu. So be very careful, and if you hear people coughing, which I do during the wintertime, I head out the opposite way, or I go the opposite side of the room. But even though this last flu was airborne, and one of my doctors was telling me they could stay there for an hour after someone coughs. So you've got to be very careful in today's world. Strains are different, the vaccines are different, and who knows what's really going to be helpful for you and your family. So good luck on that. The American Community Gardening Association is having their 39th annual conference there in Atlanta. It's going to be July 21st, 22nd. And it's going to be Aglanta is what they're going to be calling it because they want to touch as many different agriculture aspects as possible, like community gardens, urban farms, different ways of growing. We have to reach out to all the different platforms, even hydroponics. One guy was asking me about hydroponics. Did I have information on that? Which we've done a show on that. We need to probably do a fresher show now. But we all need to reach out because the bottom line is to grow more food. Bottom line, grow more food. And what we say is that this gives a good jump from community gardens to urban farms and possibly small farms. It gives a good way for people to get skills and then be able to use that for potential careers. And that's what prisons do around the nation. There's 2-3 gals, different businesses that go around to the prisons, and they set those up for people, community gardens, and then they help out with getting certificates that these people have those skills in particular areas like sales, marketing, production, growing. Those are off the top of my head. Leadership, management kind of thing, bookkeeping, whatever. And they get certificates so that they can go ahead and landscaping too. They get landscaping skills, and they can go and try to find a job after they get out of prison. So we have to do that more of that stuff to cut down the cost of people being in prison and having issues and just twiddling their thumbs. So there's all kinds of avenues like helping the vets. There's a company out in Colorado, love them. There's 2 or 3 others, I think, but Veterans to Farmers. Love it. Veterans to Farmers. One of the most helpful gentlemen, the executive director. He will give him a call if you want to start a chapter. He just really wants to help as many people as he can. He's awesome. Veterans to Farmers. And we need to think more ag and more basic because we don't know, what's coming up with North Korea or Iran or whatever. And one of those Looney Tunes may touch off something that knocks down the power grid or could destroy, power plant, or could set off maybe a nuclear or something or other. We just don't know. I mean, as crazy as some of these people are, who knows what's on their next level or what they've been attempting, and we don't know anything about it. So just be prepared, and it doesn't hurt being prepared. It's better than not being prepared at all. And some people don't even want to think about stuff like that. They put their heads in the sand, but you can't do that from here on in. So welcome to my world is what I say. All right, we're going to be right back in a moment. This is Community Garden Revolution. I'm Mary Huke, your show host, and I'm so very pleased that you've taken the time to listen to our show. Thank you very much. You're listening to Community Garden Revolution. You probably have heard or read by now that the President of the United States put an executive order change on the SNAP program, and they're doing a program that's similar to what we do in our state of Indiana, basically with Vice President Pence, the gal that did the program here for SNAP and what to do, went to Washington, D.C. with him. It's a lady, I don't remember her name. And basically, in a nutshell, we have not gotten any kind of information. I just looked at the emails before I came on air to see if the USDA had any statement yet. But we should be hearing some information about that. I think they've added now that you have to do the drug testing, which I don't think we went that far. We should have because I hear so many different stories of whatever. Of course, you never know what to believe or not. I do believe the part that because I've seen on Facebook myself where someone was trying to sell off or even help them sell off their SNAP benefits during Christmas to have Christmas money, which is illegal. And believe it or not, one was a young minister that was trying to help him out. He was associate pastor, but still, that's illegal. But we've seen all kinds of stuff over the years. We all have. So they're trying to clip down some of that stuff, and then I think you have to work either 10 or 20 hours a week. I think it's 10, but it could be 20. If you're a certain age or able-bodied, then you're supposed to do some kind of work to get food stamps. Now, what I think is so odd, we've not discussed since they announced how to do the possible food boxes, so I don't know if they're doing that still or not. But I also see that some people, and I've heard this for years, that some people only get about $17 of food stamps. Now, we were discussing that this morning, some folks, and at $17, the person might say, I'm not going to work X amount of hours to get $17 of food stamps. Now, in everybody's situation, $17 is $17, but add that up times X amount of thousands or whatever, it adds up fast. So I don't know how it's going to help that person, or if they're just doing a certain X amount of dollars or what. I don't know. We don't know anything. It was just done yesterday in the nation. So I'm waiting for some information from the USDA, if they're the ones that are going to disseminate some information, and then we'll relay it to you. So we're kind of in the dark right at the moment, and as soon as we hear more, then we'll hear more. And they did pass that spending bill, as you know, so we haven't heard anything more about how they're going to do a SNAP for food down the road. Now, the new executive order that they did, I think the states have 3 months to decide what their program is going to be to help get people acclimated more to the new programming. So it's in evolution. And as you know, a lot of community gardens are now just clearing out their land and getting ready to plant. We can't plant at the moment because it's still a little chilly, but we should be able to coming up. And, other people, they've already probably planted, particularly if they have something inside. But everybody does it differently. We catch them, different phases or levels of where they are. And do they have a long growing time? Do they have a short growing time? But, it's activity plus that's starting to get ready to happen. And we feel it ourselves, too. We are looking at a different way to get another app out there. And it's a minefield. I'm telling you, it's just a minefield because we want to make sure the app stays up on the air, that people can go ahead and download. That's been a problem. We have to watch it every week or every month. I have a digital magazine called Community Garden Magazine, and the publisher has to watch every month to make sure that our apps stay on the air. That's with iTunes. They're better than the others, believe it or not. They're far better than the others. And the others are supposed to have the quote-unquote numbers, but they take your app down every so often. They may not even put it up for whatever reason. They may, it's not part of whatever we want to do or say or whatever. So, and it's worse now than it has ever been. So we're trying to look at that part, how we can get that accomplished, and at least have access to it staying up where you can go to it. That is a problem. That is the problem. We have enough information. We have enough videos. We have enough interest. We just, to find the vehicle for it to always be up is the issue. And I think whether you're a large company or a smaller company, everybody goes through the same thing. So I'm hoping with technology changing so much that we'll be able to do a lot more coming up. We can do videos on my website right now, but all they want us to do is hit a link, and then you hit the link, and then it goes to a bunch of videos. That's not what I want to see. I want to see when you go up to that website that you can actually see some videos going on. I mean, it happens with more expensive sites, but we like to see one with community gardens. So we're challenged in some ways because you got to know the companies that do this stuff, and then you got to find them or trace upon them, and then also making it work for us, and that's the key for us. So whatever works for somebody else may work for them. Great, yippee-yi-yay, ride 'em cowboy, but for us it may not be a feasible option. Now we're going to hopefully this weekend, it could be the first of next week, be able to have our shows on YouTube. We're very excited. And we also will be sending them to iHeartRadio, so we're very excited about that. But and then Community Garden News will be sending hopefully next week for the first time to the iHeartRadio stations. So it's a process, I'm telling you, because of technology, and it always changes on us. If you like something or if you think you haven't figured it out, wait 6 months. Yeah, wait 6 months. And someone else will come up with a better idea or a faster way, or that company will make adjustments and realize that their customers are saying the same thing of what problems they're having with it. So we'll keep you posted on that. We're very excited about that option. It's a long time coming. I did this probably about 2-3 years ago, and I never could get it the way that I wanted it to be. So this way is going to get us in the door for the radio part, and you'll be able to see some visuals, I believe, that will post up. So we're going to pay more attention to that, maybe get you some postings of people's posters for events or what's going on around the nation. I do logos right now and pictures of fruits and vegetables and floor plans, that kind of stuff. But we're going to pay a little bit more attention to that, so that maybe you can see some